can we enable wireless access using, say, open IDs or email addresses?
Any other things coming in here? Okay. Next. Cool.
So, we came up with a trademark. We need the Digital Deal 2.0. So where's Nick? So Digital Deal 1.0 being we give away free information, and or we give away personal information to get free service. And there was some discussion that we have to add more value with services if we want information from users. So need higher value. So Digital Deal 2.0. But a specific thing we thought we could build is something like a federated tipping service. So the idea is you go around, you read a cool blog, or you see a cool contribution from someone, you can give them a tip. And so you just need all these different software pieces to talk to each other. And on a low authentication basis, the tip would be like a microcurrency. So we're going to have IIW bucks. And so you can just build up your reserves, and we hope that, as you get more and more of these IIW bucks, that translates to useful reputation. So it's a way to have a reputation system. But then if you want to actually convert it to cash, we need a high authentication, high level of assurance identity, and then maybe we could even convert our IIW bucks to your currency of choice, which is probably not US dollars.
Yeah, great. Okay, next group.
Okay, so we talked about a lot of things before we decided to write something down. But we came up with an idea to have an iconography which easily identifies the requirements of each party for a relationship, and that when you enter into a relationship, when you establish a relationship in the first place, to know what each party needs. That's what the iconography would be for. And then on a transaction by transaction basis, that would be required as well. And then we're talking about the de-establishment of relationships also. And then one of the things that we talked a lot about was the concept of trust being a loaded term that needs to be broken down into components rather than being understood as one single thing. And that's how we got into every relationship being a custom one.
Thank you. I'm listening to Adriana. It's all her fault. Okay. This group.
So we covered a lot of the business cases, starting with two very simple ones that represented the extreme. And one was a library who wants to not make the situation worse by having yet another silo full of cards or identities, but with low-value transactions. And at the other end of the spectrum, we had a representative from Charles Schwab who talked about the multiple identity systems that Schwab has and the high value and the liabilities and so forth that they have to go through. And so we were getting into questions like, well, could we solve this with one identity or one card or N cards, and how many would N be before it became impractical? Should these companies or these entities be identity providers? Could they outsource the authentication? And then we got into the issues of multiple devices, because sometimes it's a telephone, sometimes it's a computer, sometimes it's in the cloud, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a physical entity to this as well. And we talked about OpenID, we talked about SAML, and we talked about information cards as all parts of the solution and how we can bring this together.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, this group.